जय गौर कमलंदे। Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
On behalf of ISKCON Philadelphia, I'd like to welcome you all to this evening's program. The schedule for this evening is starting from now till 5:30. We'll have a spiritual discourse. 5:30 to 6:30 we'll break for dinner prasadam. 6:30 to 6:45 we will have a japa session, and 6:45 to 7:15 will be our next aarti. So today we are actually very blessed because we have Ram Parivar here. If you take a look at the Jagannath altar, you'll see Lord Ramchandra along with Mother Sita, Lakshmanji and Hanumanji. So we are celebrating Sri Ram Vijayotsav today, and on this occasion we will have a spiritual discourse given by His Grace Balabhadra Prabhu. So let us all welcome His Grace Balabhadra Prabhu. One announcement, we have our Sunday school for kids starting today, and if you haven't registered your kids, we have Darshan Krishna Prabhu standing all the way in the back. He will help you with the registration. So please make sure that you have your kids registered by the end of the day today, and Darshan Krishna Prabhu will be available on the second floor in the hallway. Thank you.
Sitaram Jaya Sitaram 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 Sitaram Jai Sitaram Sitaram Jaya Sitaram Sitaram Jaya Sitaram Sitaram Jai Sitaram Desi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Nityalila Vishnu Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Paribraja Kacharya Ashtottara Satashi Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Anantu Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki Prem Se Golo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Rupa Bhakti ki Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyam Kund Radhakund Giri Govardhan ki Vrindavan Dham ki Navadip Dham ki Mayapur Dham ki Jagannath Puri Dham ki Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki Shri Gaunitai ki Shri Radha Salat Bihari ki Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi ki all glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Guru Shri Garanga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Lord Shri Ramchandra ki. So the actual day of the Vijay Utsav is tomorrow, but we wanted to accommodate all of you coming today so we can discuss about Lord Ramchandra. Srila Prabhupada always recommended on appearance days or special days like this that we should discuss the pastimes of the Lord. And Srila Prabhupada has so kindly given us a wonderful summary and translation in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the pastimes of Lord Ramchandra. Of course, there's Valmiki Ramayana, so many presentations on the activities of Lord Ramchandra, but we specifically like to hear Srila Prabhupada's presentation so we can get the most clear and accurate understanding of the most important incarnation of the Lord Sri Ramchandra. So in the 9th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a very nice description, and I'm just going to read a few verses, just the translations, and then we'll study one verse, which is very significant, very, very important. So please listen to these wonderful pastimes. Is that okay?
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like it's okay. You want to hear about Lord Ramchandra?
Yeah.
Should. The whole world is actually hankering for someone like Ramchandra to lead the world. During his time, there was no problems. Everything was very wonderful under his leadership. So we know that in the world today, there's a dearth of leadership. Absolutely. We need good leadership. And if the leaders would study the life of Ramchandra, they would learn how to make a wonderful society. And we'll hear on the verse that we're going to study about the effects of such a society. So this is starting with verse 16 to 23. Shukadeva Goswami said, after constructing a bridge over the ocean by throwing into the water the peaks of mountains, whose trees and other vegetation had been shaken by the hands of great monkeys, Lord Ramachandra went to Lanka to release Sita Devi from the clutches of Ravana. And I just noticed outside, I think Dronacharya is building a Ravana outside, 10 heads. I'm not sure what you're going to do with it, but are you burning it or are you beating it? I don't know. You're going to burn? It's going to burn.
A little both.
All right, good. With the direction and help of Vibhishana, Ravana's brother, the Lord, along with the monkey soldiers, headed by Sugriva, Nila, and Hanuman, entered Ravana's kingdom, Lanka, which had previously been burnt by Hanuman. And I've heard it described that Prabhupada's followers sometimes were described as monkey soldiers, just like Lord Ramchandra had to take the help of these monkey soldiers, monkey personalities to help him in defeating Ravana. Of course, he didn't need their help. The Lord can do it all by himself. But he engaged them. And because they were residents of the forest, they had no weapons, they had no training. Just like when Srila Prabhupada came to America, his original followers had no weapons, no training, nothing. So therefore, sometimes compared to like monkeys. But still, by having faith in Srila Prabhupada, this movement spread all over the world very, very quickly. I was just reading this morning in the second volume of Shanasundar Prabhu's, I believe he calls it Rhinos, Chasing Rhinos, describing the first American devotees to go to India. And what an adventure that was. I mean, how unprepared they were. And they were just depending on Prabhupada. They were just waiting for Prabhupada to come to Bombay. They went into Bombay and they were just waiting for Prabhupada to come because they didn't know what to do. So these monkeys' personalities are working with Lord Brahmachandra and they're just using what they have. And it says trees and stones or whatever they had available. So Prabhupada's disciples in the beginning, whatever they had in their arsenal, whatever intelligence they had, whatever resources they had, which were very limited, they just gave to Srila Prabhupada. And you're all sitting here today because of that. Am I correct or not? We're here because of that. We should never forget. Text 17, after entering Lanka, the monkey soldiers, led by chiefs like Sugriva, Nila, and Hanuman, occupied all the sporting houses, granaries, treasuries, palace doorways, city gates, assembly houses, palace frontages, and even the resting houses of the pigeons. When the city's crossroads, platforms, flags, and golden water pots on its domes were all destroyed, the entire city of Lanka appeared like a river disturbed by a herd of elephants. Text 18. When Ravana, the master of the Rakshasas, saw the disturbances created by the monkey soldiers, he called for Nikumba, Kumbha, Dhumraksha, Dhumurka, Sarantaka, Narantaka, and other Rakshasas, and also his son Indrajit. Thereafter he called for Prahasta, Atikaya, Vikampana, and finally Kumbhakarna. Then he induced all his followers to fight against the enemies. Text 19. Lord Ramachandra, surrounded by Lakshman and monkey soldiers like Sugriva, Hanuman, Dandamada, Nila, Angada, Jambavan, and Panasa, attacked the soldiers of the Rakshasas, who were fully equipped with various invincible weapons like swords, lances, bows, prasas, rishtis, shakti arrows, Khatgas, and Tomaras. Text 20. Angada and the other commanders of the soldiers of Ramchandra faced the elephants, infantry, horses, and chariots of the enemy and hurled against them big trees, mountain peaks, clubs, and arrows. Thus the soldiers of Lord Ramchandra killed Ravana's soldiers, who had lost all good fortune because Ravana had been condemned by the anger of Mother Sita. Text 21. Thereafter, when Ravana, the king of the Rakshasas, observed that his soldiers had been lost, he was extremely angry. Thus he mounted his airplane, which was decorated with flowers, and proceeded toward Lord Ramchandra, who sat on the effulgent chariot brought by Mahatali, the chariot driver of Indra. Then Ravana struck Lord Ramchandra with sharp arrows. 22. Lord Ramchandra said to Ravana, "You are the most abominable of man-eaters, of the man-eaters. Indeed, you are like their stool. You resemble a dog. For as a dog steals eatables from the kitchen in the absence of the householder, in my absence, you kidnap my wife Sita Devi. Therefore, as Yamaraj punishes sinful men, I shall also punish you. You are most abominable. sinful, and shameless. Today, therefore, I, whose attempt never fails, shall punish you. Text 23. After thus rebuking Ravana, Lord Ramchandra fixed an arrow to his bow, aimed at Ravana, and released the arrow, which pierced Ravana's heart like a thunderbolt. Upon seeing this, Ravana's followers raised a tumultuous sound, crying, "Alas, alas, what has happened? What has happened?" As Ravana, vomiting blood from his 10 mouths, fell from his airplane, just as a pious man falls to earth from the heavenly planets when the results of his pious activities are exhausted. Shri Ramchandra Bhagwan Ki Jai. So this is the actual killing of Ravana, which is celebrated today. And it actually proves Krishna's statement in Bhagavad Gita, Pritranaya Sadhunam Vinasaya Duskita, that he comes to destroy the Duskitas, the miscreants, the demons. So this Ravana was a very powerful demon. So the Lord, in order to protect his devotees and to liberate his wife Sita, he killed this demon. And Prabhupada explained one time that for the sake of this one woman, Sita, that Ramchandra destroyed the whole kingdom, dynasty of Ravana, just for one personality, Sita. But of course, for the protection of all his devotees. So we're going to read verse number 51, which is very, very important, especially in the purport, how Srila Prabhupada explains something, which taken on you take it on a face value, you might not understand exactly what Prabhupada is saying here. He's saying something very amazing in this purport. It's almost like a challenge to all followers of the Vedic culture, the potential to have an impact on the entire world, a very powerful way. So let's read this verse. Tritayam vartamanayam kala krita samobhavat rame rajani dharma ge sarva bhuta sukhavahhe. Lord Ramchandra became king during Treta Yuga, but because of his good government, the age was like Satya Yuga. Everyone was religious and completely happy. Purport. Among the 4 yugas, Satya, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali, the Kali Yuga is the worst. But if the process of an ashram dharma is introduced even in this age of Kali, the situation of Satya Yuga can be invoked. So that's the first point that he makes. That even though Kali Yuga is so bad, and Srimad Bhagavatam also explains about the bad condition of Kali Yuga. What is it? Kalaya Doshana Deyaraja. And he talks about how Kali Yuga is symptomized by many things. The lives become short, memory becomes short, good fortune becomes short, everything becomes short in Kali Yuga. Our lifespan has been cut down from, thousands of years to maybe 100 if you live that long. Actually, Sukadeva Prabhu was showing me a picture today of this, Gaudiya devotee, I believe Gaudiya devotee. He was 124 years old. And it stated in this message that was sent that he was 23 days older than Srila Prabhupada. And he was standing there, very nice, healthy person, bead bag, tilak, everything. 124 years old, by the grace of the Lord. But generally speaking, in Kali Yuga, we don't live that long. People are dying at very young ages because of the influence of Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga has a very powerful influence on everything that happens. And sometimes we forget that. It's like the tendency for people to lie. The continual habit of people lying is an effect of Kali Yuga. It's one of the symptoms. Constant lies. It's hard to believe anybody about anything in this Kali Yuga. But we forget that that's the impact of Kali Yuga. So is there something that can be done about that? That's the real point that's being discussed here. There's something that can be done about the effects of Kali Yuga in the world today. The Hare Krishna movement, now this is really amazing. The Hare Krishna movement, or Krishna consciousness movement, is meant for this purpose. What purpose? What is the Hare Krishna movement meant for, based on what Prabhupada is saying here now? For what purpose? To change this Kali Yuga to Satya Yuga. He did refer in the first part of the purport, saying that this Varnashram Dharma situation. But now he's more specific. The Hare Krishna movement is meant for this purpose. And what is that purpose? Change the whole atmosphere from Kali Yuga to Satya Yuga. So this is the question. Do we believe that? Because it appears like it hasn't changed yet. It's getting worse. And the Hare Krishna movement's been here for how many years? 50 plus years. So the question becomes, can we really have an impact on this by the activities of the Hare Krishna movement? The answer is absolutely yes, but it depends upon the faith of the followers. The movement is Krishna. He's manifested in the form of this movement, and he's giving us the opportunity, just like he gave Arjuna the opportunity. You be my instrument. I can do all this work myself. I don't need you, but I want you to be the instrument for my mission. Pritranaya sadhunam vinasaya jadishkita. Annihilate the miscreants, establish the devotees, protect the devotees. So we're given the opportunity as the Hare Krishna movement to actually change the entire planet. Well, it's a question of whether we believe that or not. So we'll talk about that in a minute. So that was from, he says, Bhagavatam 12:351. If people take to the Sankirtan movement of chanting, let me go back a little bit. Sorry. It says the Hare Krishna movement is meant for that purpose, and then he quotes that verse. Kaler doshana de rajan asti yeko mahan guna kirtana eva krishnasya mukta sangha param prajay. Quote. My dear king, although Kali Yuga is full of faults, there's still one good quality about this age. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can become free from material bondage and be promoted to the transcendental kingdom. That's Bhagavatam 12:351. If people take to this Sankirtan movement of chanting Hare Krishna Hare Ram, they will certainly be freed from the contamination of Kali Yuga, and the people of this age will be happy as the people were in Satya Yuga, the golden age. So let's think about that for a second. Just by spreading the chanting of this Hare Krishna mantra, encouraging people, inspiring people to take up this chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, we can change their lives, guaranteed. And we can change this whole Kali Yuga and have the effects like Satya Yuga. And he says anyone, anywhere can easily take to this Hare Krishna movement. One need only chant Hare Krishna, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Observe the rules and regulations and stay free from the contamination of sinful life. Even if one is sinful and cannot give up sinful life immediately, if he chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra with devotion and faith, he will certainly be freed from all sinful activities. And his life will be successful. Param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Now this last sentence is very sweet, so I want you to hear it very carefully. This is the blessing of Lord Ramchandra, who has appeared in this age of Kali as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Gaurasundar. So he's saying that Lord Ramchandra, who we're celebrating his victory today, Ram Vijayotsav, has appeared in the Kali Yuga as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to give this Harinam Sankirtan, such a great blessing. And the power of the holy name, the power of the Sankirtan movement can actually transform the entire world. But again, the question is, do we have the confidence in the faith that it can do that? So what that means that if we increase the activities of the Sankirtan movement, and I was thinking, especially here, I don't know if we here in this temple room can change the whole world. I'm not sure if we can. but we surely can have an impact in this community of Philadelphia. Would you agree? Some people are saying, I don't know. Yes or no, do you agree? We have to have that confidence that yes, we can.
Yes.
We have the necessary resources. We have the resources. The only real resource we need is the holy name. And we have some health, whatever health we have, whatever resources financial we have those things. And the most important thing is the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
And each one of us is a testament to the power of the holy name. Srila Prabhupada, when he was visiting Atlanta, we did a drama for him, the story of Chankasi. It was a very nice drama. He liked it very much. He liked it so much that during the drama, when one, I believe Brahmin, he said that if all the lower class people start chanting the holy name, continue chanting the holy name, the potency of the name will be lost by these lower class people. They will almost like contaminate the holy name. And then Prabhupada, in the middle of the play, very unusual, in the middle of the play, this is what he said, but the potency has already increased. And we knew he was talking about all of us. The potency has increased by all these people chanting Hare Krishna. So the holy name is extremely powerful. It can actually do amazing things. And we are the testament to that. Look at us. We're here, we're chanting, we're coming from all kinds of backgrounds, having all kinds of attachments in this world, whether we came from India or from America, we all had some attachments. And by chanting Hare Krishna, following Srila Prabhupada's inspiration, his instructions, our lives are changing. So we have to think, if we can change, others can change as well. Sometimes we think, well, this person might be too sophisticated for chanting Hare Krishna. And I was reading in Shamasundar's book this morning, and when they first landed, I can't remember exactly where they landed. They left Brussels to go to Bombay, and they stopped in one country. And there were some soldiers with machine guns. And that was during the time there were hijackings, and there was a lot of things happening during that time. So this devotee, he was chanting around the airplane. And he came around, and he saw these two machine guns lying against the airplane. And then he looked again, and he saw that the two soldiers who had the machine guns were holding the hand of a devotee, jumping up and down, chanting Hare Krishna. And he couldn't believe it. They were just jumping, Hare Bol, Hare Krishna, two soldiers. And then some other devotees came, and they came after this group came. There was two groups of devotees who came. The first group had already come, then the second group came. They were just coming from California, and they were not as convinced as the first group to go to anyone to get them to chant Hare Krishna. So they actually said we were not as, confident about that. And that's what happens. The opportunity is there, period. But maybe we're not so confident that it'll work. Maybe we're afraid that if we say Hare Krishna to that person, and we try to give it to that person, they may not like it, they may reject it. Sometimes people ask, well, what was it like in the old days when you guys first joined? Well, it was like we didn't worry about it. A lot of times we went to jail. I went to jail as a friend of the temple, not even a member of the temple. Just visiting with the devotees, going out on Harinam. I ended up in jail that day. But of course I was in jail with His Holiness Vishnu Jana Swami, so it was very special. But I didn't expect that. And I learned from that day because Maharaj Vishnu Jana Swami was so focused on the holy name that even though we were going in this difficult situation, he never stopped chanting Hare Krishna. And the impact it had on all of our lives is still to this day. That is what we're supposed to do. And Srila Prabhupada, one time the devotees were, I believe, in jail, and he told them, don't worry, you can chant in the jail also. It's okay. You can bless. So we have to have this confidence. So what gives us the confidence that the holy name can have that impact? How do we get that confidence? Number one, you have to constantly hear, especially from Srila Prabhupada. If you read his books, he constantly reinforces this idea that all we have to do is spread the holy names. But sometimes we think, well, we need to add a little something to that. Or we need to adjust it this way and adjust it that way. But this movement began just by chanting Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. At Rath Yatra this year, I was speaking with Ram Roy, the devotee in New York who goes out every day, 7 hours a day. The devotees go out every 7 hours a day on Harinam. And I asked him to give a little message to all the devotees. And he was glorifying the holy name in such a wonderful way. And I could see on his face the effects of that much chanting. It was very genuine. The energy coming from him was like, you could feel it. The conviction that he has that we just go out and give this holy name, the Sankirtan movement, then we can change the world. Lord Ramchandra has appeared in Kali Yuga as who? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Ramchandra has come in this age to give the opportunity for everyone to become liberated, to become Krishna conscious. So in Kali Yuga, and during this time, we're not tasked with the responsibility to physically kill demons. Lord Ramchandra killed Ravana, and if you look many, many pastimes, Krishna's killing demons. But we're not tasked with that responsibility to physically cause harm to people, to force them to chant Hare Krishna. Our job is so simple. We just have to chant Hare Krishna. I heard Prabhupada say once in a lecture that when you go out and chant in public, even if no one hears your chanting, the effect will be there because it will affect the atmosphere. So sometimes we say, oh, there's not so many people here, there's not so many people there. That's not the issue. Just go. Give the holy name. It will have an effect. Absolutely guaranteed it will have an effect. So that conviction is what I'm stressing here. The more we become convinced that the holy name can impact the world, the more we'll do that. You just have to analyze the society, just like that verse that he quoted. Kaler doshina de rajan, asti eko mahan gana, kirtana deva krishnasya, mukta sangha paramvijay. My dear king, although Kali Yuga is full of faults. Now, does anyone disagree that Kali Yuga is full of faults? If you disagree, that means you're just not paying attention. It's really a mess. You know, I don't recommend you look at the news all the time, but if you just look at the news any time of the day, you'll be depressed. There's no good news. They don't put good news on TV. They say, if it bleeds, it leads. If it's really bad, then it's going to be on the front page. So everything you see is how bad things are. And no one trusts anyone. One guy saying this and another one saying that. Who do you believe? It's hard to believe anyone. So it's full of faults. There's still one good quality about this age. And he uses the word simply. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one can become free from material bondage and be promoted to the transcendental kingdom. So it's not very complicated. So first and foremost, we chant Hare Krishna ourselves. Say it again. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. And then we get a taste for chanting. And that's essential, to get this taste for chanting. In the beginning, you may not have the taste. It's a whole process of spiritual development. First, we have to have faith. We had enough faith to come to this temple. We had enough faith to get involved in Krishna consciousness, to start the process. And then we hear from devotees that we need to do certain things in order to improve our spiritual practice. Give up this, give up that. Like when you first come, don't necessarily tell you that you have to stop anything. Just chant Hare Krishna. Then you start chanting, and then you become a little more interested. I know myself when I first started coming, it was 1972, and I worked 2 blocks from the temple. So I used to go every day to the temple, every day at lunch. Every day I chanted 4 rounds at home, 4 rounds at lunch, 4 rounds on the bus home, and 4 rounds at night. 16. So devotees saw me coming regularly. They wanted to know, you look like you're really interested. Why don't you join? And I looked at them and said, have you lost your mind? Join? I never thought about joining. But they detected that I was serious enough to come regularly. Then they started introducing more restrictions. Well, Bhakta Ben, if you want to practice, you need to, do this and that. And I always joke that people ask me, why do you like cheesecake so much? Let me tell you why. When I first started coming to the temple, I didn't know anything about what vegetarianism is. In 1972, hardly anyone knew about vegetarianism. So I thought cheesecake and one other thing I won't mention, but one other thing I thought was vegetarian. And that I ate it every day. That was my being a vegetarian. That's why I became attached to this cheesecake. But devotees introduced more and more things that I needed to do to improve my spiritual life. I would highly recommend for all of you who are trying to become more engaged in devotional service to seek the guidance of more experienced devotees. Just like in any profession, you want to be a good doctor, you want to be a good lawyer, you want to be a good IT person, you find the best person who does that, and you learn from them. So if you talk to the devotees who are more engaged in yourself, they will give you good advice. Yes, Mataji, yes, Prabhu, you need to do this and that. I remember one nice gentleman in Atlanta, he's a Gujarati gentleman, very nice. He got initiated later on by Jagataka Maharaj. I first visited him and his wife, and I always say this lady was the best cook in Atlanta, unbelievable Gujarati cook. So in his apartment, he had a closet. That was his altar. Closet. And on his altar, he had every demigod you can imagine. Durga, this, that, Shiva, everyone was there. When I first visited him, I didn't say anything. I didn't say, you should take that out, you should stop this, you should stop that. I just said, chant Hare Krishna. So he started chanting 16 rounds a day. Every day, 16 rounds, 16 rounds, 16 rounds, him and his wife. And one day he said, Balabhadra. He pointed to his closet. Is it okay? Should I have this in my closet? And what did I tell him? Well, Prabhu, if you really want to practice it the way Prabhupada explained it, then probably you shouldn't have this, and you probably shouldn't have. And he was so purified at that point, he was willing to give all that up. Even though he was like 60-something years old at that point. He gave it up so he could become more Krishna conscious, to follow the process. So in the beginning, we don't really recommend that we tell everyone stop everything. We recommend that we tell everyone chant Hare Krishna. Again, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Because we have faith that the holy name will help that person. Our only job is to introduce it. Prabhupada said recently in a lecture, that is our real business, is to introduce. What Krishna does after that, that is not our business. How he touches that person's heart, how he changes that person's life, that is not our business. We can't accelerate that. We just want to guide them into chanting Hare Krishna. So again, the point being, do we have the confidence that the holy name can change Kali Yuga to Satya Yuga? I've asked this question many times of myself and to others. Do we have that confidence? Then it becomes, well, it's not changing. Does that mean devotees don't have the confidence? Not to be insulting to any Vaishnavas, but is that what it indicates? That maybe we don't have enough faith yet? Any thoughts? Smiles won't get you off the hook. What do you think, Murli? Do we have the faith yet? We're trying. Maybe we can increase it a little bit. And I'm very specific. Here in our city of Philadelphia, it's an amazing city. Every time I come here, I'm just like, this is an amazing place. It's one of the biggest cities in the world. Actually, one of the most important cities in the world. Because you have what, Independence Hall and all those things where America's founded. And this city is so important. So if we can spread Krishna consciousness by giving the holy name in this city, do you think it can have an impact around the world? I was thinking this morning, this city should become an ideal place for Krishna consciousness. And that message will go out around the world. Hare Krishna devotees impacted Philadelphia and made it a better city. It's called the City of Brotherly Love, is that right? Is it? Well, it's called that, but is it? There's not that much love in the city. But the Krishna consciousness movement can bring the loving exchanges to the people in general. But so simple. Through the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
One reason I keep repeating the holy name in this discussion is I gave a class many years ago. We were traveling and I gave this class. And we were camping. We used to travel a lot, so we were camping. And I was giving the Bhagavatam class, and some hikers came by and sat down in the class. But I forgot to mention the holy name in the class. And my senior godbrother chastised me severely. He said, I won't use the word he used, but he said, you idiot. You forgot to glorify the holy name. I said, oops. So I'll never forget that. How important it is to give the holy name. Even if you don't remember anything else about what we talked about in this lecture today, you should remember the holy name. And generally, sometimes in a lecture, there's so many things that can be said, and you probably don't remember most of the things. But the most important thing is what? The holy name. And the power of the holy name in our own personal lives and what it can do for others. So, this verse in purport, I've read it so many times, and it gives me the same inspiration each time that let's do something to change this world, change this Kali Yuga. Let's not be satisfied with Kali Yuga. We don't have to be. Some people just say, just throw your hands up and say, forget it, there's nothing we can do. Just get frustrated. That's not what Prabhupada would tell us. He would tell us to be excited about the possibilities and to be confident of what we have. Srila Prabhupada's confidence was in his spiritual master's order and the power of the holy names. He took those two things with him when he came to this country, and he said, that's all I had. I had a few books, I had a little cereal in a bag, my spiritual master's order, and the holy names. And he also said, I had no mridanga, I had no prasadam to give anyone, I had the little symbols, the kartals, and I sat down in the park, and I chanted Hare Krishna. Then he said, Brahmananda came, Kirtananda came, this one came, they started coming. Just by this old man sitting in the park. And you all know that if you've been to New York, there's a tree that's been designated as a starting point of the Hare Krishna movement. What park is that? Is that Washington Square? Tompkins Square Park, yeah, where Prabhupada said. That's so significant. So my humble request is that here in this great city of Philadelphia, as Prabhupada called it, let's expand our vision of what we can accomplish here just by chanting Hare Krishna. I know devotees are going out for Harinam sometimes and book distribution, but we need to think, how can we increase that? The way it can increase is by all of you, all of the devotees here, thinking, how can I participate in this process of spreading the holy names of the Lord? I know here at the temple there's a kirtan program. It's every Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
Every Wednesday evening. And I know it's difficult for most people to come because you maybe live, I don't know, Bensalem, that place, this place. And when I come, it's hard for me because I don't really have transportation a lot of times. But there's a very significant opportunity to come together, to share holy names, to get inspired, to take that to others. Now,
churches, and that's nice. But we're not changing or anything. We're just bringing something that you don't already have.
yes.
And so I do believe that we can change it back to something new. But then this is a question that I've been contemplating for many years now. So is it the platform of moral goodness that we want? Because earlier in the class you was mentioning that prayer, Balabhadra. So we know that there's something else that we need in order to cross over once you're sadhana, once you perfect sadhana. Because as a Sankirtan devotee, your sadhana is on point every day.
Mm-hmm.
So is that enough to bring me the leap over this gap into praying? And the answer is no. You have to have sukriti.
Yeah.
And how do you get that sukriti is through chanting the holy name So I would have to say that, yes, we can bring Sattva Yuga, but the cycle keeps going. And the other question you were saying, you said something about Kali Yuga is bad. And I've been contemplating that also for many years, because this whole cycle that we go through is to bring us back to understanding who we are, and bring us back to loving Krishna. So how could it be really bad? Is it bad if we constantly stay connected to it? Or is it bad when we start to notice, and that's what the Bhagavad Gita is about, is to notice that, hey, you're stuck in this cycle. What are you now going to do to get out?
Yes.
Right? So, I don't really perceive this whole process that we're going through as bad, because Radha is basically making this happen so that to pull us out of the material world and get us back into our position of service, first service of Krishna. So I have a hard time seeing it as ultimately bad. It's bad because I don't really believe it, but is it really bad if it is what we had to pull us out? Because time don't really exist. It exists only in our ahankar, in our form right now, but it really doesn't. It don't exist in the spiritual world. So is it really bad? So I keep going back and forth like that.
No, these are very good points, and I thank you very much for that insight. We have to think. And the idea of the association of devotees is that we share these thoughts. We're like scientists, and Prabhupada described us like scientists. You know, like a scientist does like what you're doing. You analyze, you think about things, you put it in perspective. And another devotee scientist has looked at it in a different way. And the two devotee scientists, like you and I, we come together and discuss our realizations. That's called revealing your mind in confidence. You're revealing your mind to a whole group of people. Why? Because you have confidence that you're in a safe, transcendental environment. You can discuss these points. Whether you're right or this one's right, that's not really the issue. It's like I have a little phrase that says, you have a right to your opinion, but it doesn't mean your opinion is always right. So we all have opinions. But as Vaishnavas, we should have enough love to share with each other and try to enhance each other's understanding. So you're helping me understand. I'm trying to share with you whatever I understand. And we come to a conclusion how we can serve this mission. So Kali Yuga, as that verse that's in this purport says, Kalaydoshana Dhirajan, there's one good thing about this Kali Yuga. It may be bad because the effect of Kali Yuga is bad, but it's one amazing good thing about this Kali Yuga. And let's read it again. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one can become free from the bondage and then promoted to the transcendental kingdom. So what you're talking about is this prema and love of God. That's a higher platform. So simply by this chanting, in Kali Yuga, all the unfortunate souls can be elevated to the platform that you're describing, love of God. Because Lord Chaitanya is the one most magnificent personality, Namo Mahavanyaya Krishna Prema Dayate. He gave Krishna Prema even in this Kali Yuga. So Kali Yuga is very special. Very special.
So that connects to only prema will stop samsara.
Yes.
Samsara dharma nada
Yes. Yes. So we need more than just this mode of goodness, something. Yeah. We as practitioners, you know, we're in somewhat of a different category of practice, but the general mass of people, it would be nice if they can come to the mode of goodness. Because in that mode, they can make further progress. Prabhupada brought us to the mode of goodness by a simple process called four regular. Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Balabhadra Prabhu. Please help me. And thank you, Balabhadra Prabhu, for being here. Speaking to us on the wonderful occasion of Balabhadra ISKCON. A couple quick announcements before we have our prashadam. We'd like to thank our Sunday Feast sponsor, bringing forward. We have Nina and Vishal Bagoria. Please come forward. Stay here for a second. So, they sponsored this feast just for the occasion of just wanting the blessings of the devotees. It's auspicious days to share, and just ask for the prayers of the devotees. So please raise your arms with me, and we'll chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. I want to invite the interpreter Prabhu here. Vishwambhara. They're going to give the monthly Sankirtan announcement here.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Last Saturday we had a big festival in Philadelphia. So what was that? Radha Jagannath Radha Yatra ki Jai. It was pleasant day, so a lot of people participated in the Radha Yatra, and they pulled the chariot, so took the blessings of Lord Jagannath. So Radha Sharad Bihari Sankirtan team distributed 1,000 books.
How do you go?
All credit goes to Denendra Prabhu and Saumyada Trimataji and Ramcharan Prabhu, Mahamantra Prabhu, Dronacharya Prabhu, Shyam Kumar Prabhu, Pranath Prabhu, Ajit Krishna Prabhu, Mulirangam Prabhu, Priyanka Mataji, and Parinit Prabhu and Pratik Prabhu. We distributed 1,000 books, 60 big books, Bhagavad Gita, and one set of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yeah.
Total we collected 1,800 Lakshmi.
How do you go?
So we are planning for monthly Sankirtan festival coming Saturday in Bensalem in October, so 12th. So please mark your calendar. So the details will be sent to you in the newsletter. So please participate, and we will do the Sankirtan and then book distribution. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
That's next Saturday?
Yes.
Next Saturday. At what time?
We will
Send the email. Send it in the newsletter. Okay. So coming up this week, on Wednesday, we have ISKCON. It's our fast from beans and grains, and to increase our devotion to the Lord during that time. Also Wednesday evening, we have our Kirtan night here at ISKCON in Philadelphia, starting at 6:30. Thursday is our Prabhupada night, where we read about the transcendental pastimes of His Divine Grace. Again, it starts at 6:30. Saturday, so we got two things on Saturday, and neither of them conflict. You can have a full day of Krishna consciousness. So in the morning, we have our Maha cleanup here at the temple. And we would love to get more participation. Because there's a lot of things going on here at the temple, and a lot of activities, and the more hands we have to clean and just tidy things up, and there's some projects that can be done outside if we have enough devotees to do them. So please try to find 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock. You can come have breakfast, come have lunch. If you want to come early, greeting the deities, Guru Puja, Bhagavatam class, and go into cleaning. It's a great way to start your day, and just spend one day a month with us, cleaning the Lord's temple. That takes you up until about noon, and then in the afternoon you'll have the Sankirtan festival, which we can, maybe if we get a group of people cleaning, then we can all go together to that and just kind of stick together and get a caravan going. So that's on Saturday. And then next Sunday begins the holy month of Kartik. So starting that day, next Sunday, it's Sharad Purnima, which is very special to us because our deities are Shri Radha Sharad Vihari, the enjoyers of this season that we're about to approach upon. So that's the time of the year where everybody gets a chance to come forward and offer a candle, to the Lord, and we sing the Damodar Astaka prayers. So lots of activities going on. Specifically tonight, we're not done with this festivities. We have Sri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman with us up on the altar today, and the Leela is that Ravana was killed today by Lord Ramchandra. So we have a Ravana that was made outside earlier today, and we're going to bring Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman out there, and we're going to reenact this killing of Lord Ravana. So, not Lord Ravana, the demon Ravana by Lord Ramchandra. So that's going to take place right after the arti. So the demon Ravana will be killed by Lord Ramachandra. And so that'll take place at 7:15, right after the arti. We wanted to wait till the sun goes down. It'll be dark out. We're going to have a procession. We'll have torches out there, lights out there. And so please stay with us. It'll only take about another 15-20 minutes. So after the arti, we'll have the procession out. At 6:30, we'll reconvene for japa, 6:45 for arti, and then the burning of Ravana after that. Hare Krishna. Oh, one more. Okay, one prayer about a Srila Prabhupada disciple who recently passed away this week. His name was Vishnu Tattva Prabhu from Canada. He had a sudden heart attack, and we would like to offer our prayers to him and his family, to pray for him. And it's really, I'm speaking to Mother Sangeeta about this, and these disciples of Srila Prabhupada are actually really special because they had direct contact with His divine grace. And it was once said that every time like a Srila Prabhupada disciple leaves us, it's like a light kind of goes out in this world, because they have something that those who never had the direct association with Srila Prabhupada will never be able to have. We would like to, again, please, I'm going to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra once for Vishnu Tattva Prabhu and his wife, Vishwamaka Mataji. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, Prashadam will be served now in the old temple.